Accessing peace. Existing without violence, with the ability to calmly resolve conflict. Downloading love. An overwhelming, deep, positive affection towards others. Activating liberty. Living your life as you see fit without infringing on the lives of others.
So welcome to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com. So I'm recording this on my Zoom H4n Pro as I'm driving to Millinocket, Maine. And I mentioned on Friday's episode 501, that I would record some audio on the way. I want to do a preview of the race plus a review of the race. Right now, as I'm recording this, I'm only about an hour and a half outside of Keene. And I've had some thoughts, and I've figured, you know what, I'll go ahead and record and share these thoughts while I'm driving instead of waiting until I'm in Maine. One of the reasons that this race, and I mentioned the race itself, went into a little bit of detail about that, but there's sort of a significance of the date, kind of, and I'm not one of these people that's into numerology, but if you're a friend of mine, if you know me, and I realize that not everybody that listens to the show actually knows me in person or, you know, like is someone that I would consider to be close. So I appreciate you listening, and I'm going to share some things here that I've not really shared with a lot of people. So, you know, you're kind of getting a glimpse into who is Darryl here. Let me back up a little bit. And let's talk about the DeMar Half Marathon, which is the one that I ran in my hometown of Keene, New Hampshire, back in late September, I think it was, where the night before, there's a spaghetti dinner. They had the race director, I forget his exact title, of the Boston Marathon was the keynote speaker. But prior to the dinner being served, prior to the speakers, I'm sitting at a table, and, you know, you're chatting with other people at the table of how many races have you run before, where are you from, blah-de-da-de-da. And one of the guys at the table mentioned this free Boston qualifier in northern Maine. But anyway, I was intrigued about a free race because races are not cheap. A local 5K is probably going to be the cheapest race that you find. Half marathons, entry fee generally starts on the low end at about $60 and goes up. So a free race. I was intrigued. And so I started looking into, what is this race? How did this thing come about? And I want to do this. And so I signed up immediately for the half because I knew I could do a half marathon. I know that I could go with very little preparation, and this is not something that I would have been able to say a year ago, that with very little preparation I could run a half marathon. And it might sound like I'm bragging right now, and you know what? Damn it, I am. Because I'm very proud of what I've done with my life over the last couple of years. And if somebody would have told me when I started losing weight that I would be running a marathon, I would have told them they were crazy. And I realize that I sound emotional right now. And I kind of am. Because, again, there's some significance here with the date, this time of year. And I'll get into that. Again, I found out about the race and found out that the area is economically depressed. The industries have left. And it's basically a tourist destination, so everybody is working in the service industry. And this is not generally a time of year that people are wanting to go to northern Maine. In total, 50 people showed up that first year. And then last year, there were close to 700 people that showed up. And this year, there are supposed to be close to 2,300 people that show up to run this race. And Gary has said the only requirement, there is no registration fee. The only requirement, if you're going to come run this race, you spend money in this town. There was a podcast that I found called So This Is Fitness. And it's hosted by another Darrell McTague. And he interviewed some of the people in the town last year. And he said, this is the only race that I've ever run where I've been thanked for being a runner. Back to the significance of the date. So again, I signed up to run the half marathon. And because it's a free race, you can alter prior to the race, so you can't decide on race morning, oh, I'm going to do the other one. So once I realized what the day was, December 9th, 2017, I realized I have to run the full marathon. I have to. Because 26 years ago, on December 7th, the woman who raised me, she didn't give birth to me, but she raised me. She passed away December 7th, 1991. Do the math. From December 7th, 1991 to December 9th, 2017. That's 26 years and 2 days. How long's a marathon? 26.2 miles. It just makes sense that I have to run this thing in memory of my mom. I raised money for the local library in memory of my mom. For the first good part of my life, I did not have a relationship with the woman that did give birth to me. Now, I'm thankful that later on, as an adult, I did wind up ultimately having a good relationship with my mom, the woman that gave birth to me. I've had two moms throughout my life, and I'm very thankful for both of them. And they both passed away.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more. Coinbase is a simple and secure online Bitcoin wallet for sending, receiving, and storing Bitcoin. Coinbase also allows you to buy and sell Bitcoin using a bank account or use their tools to accept Bitcoin as a merchant. Coinbase has more than 1 million consumer wallets and is trusted by over 25,000 merchants, including Overstock.com, Khan Academy, Reddit, and of course, FPP. Get started at coinbase.fppradio.com.
You're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio with Darryl W. Perry, online at fppradio.com.
All right, so I am at the Stearns High School in Millinocket. Finally made it. 6 long hours of driving. Had to detour to pick up a spare battery to charge my phone because that thing was dying on the way here because the vehicle I was driving didn't have a charger. Then had to stop for gas. Luckily, made it to some gas station in the middle of nowhere. So, again, at the Stearns High School at Millinocket, I'm at the craft fair. So, the entire gymnasium is full of vendors, and I'm with Lucy. I just bought a beautiful mug from her. I will post a picture on Facebook, Twitter, etc. So, Lucy, thank you for coming on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. Say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
So you have a lot of stuff here. So tell us first what you have, and if people can buy online from you.
Well, this is a flash sale, only in person, Millinocket Marathon weekend only. I don't have any online sales, but we have marathon mugs. I have 2 designs this year, both featuring Mount Katahdin, one with words and the other with the infamous 13.1 and 26.2. But they're one of a kind. You can only get them here. And then I have marathon ornaments, and then just some other sort of decorative ceramics like spoon rests and salt bowls and little tooth fairy boxes. But you can only get them here in Millinocket.
For now, hopefully you do at some point wind up getting an online shop. And when I first heard about this race a couple of months ago, I was intrigued because free marathon, which is something that's unheard of. And then I started reading about the town. So how long have you lived in Millinocket?
I lived here for the past 2 years.
Okay, so you weren't necessarily here when the mill closed down, things like that?
No, I have been here on the upswing. I did not experience the decline.
So what brought you to, and this is going to be a different perspective, one that I did not expect. What brought you to an area that seemed to be economically depressed?
Baxter State Park. Baxter has been in existence since the early 30s, and it's the largest state park in Maine. My husband is a forester, and he's the natural resource manager at Baxter State Park.
Well, what do you hope will wind up happening from this race? Do you expect more races to happen in Millinocket?
I think we're looking to have more year-round events in general. It might not be foot race. I personally do triathlons. I would love to see a triathlon up here. I think the lakes and bike courses that are available would be fantastic. But the snowmobiling and the ATV recreation up here is really huge, and so there's a lot of talk and interest in developing events around those 2 types of recreation.
Lucy, pleasure meeting you, and I'm definitely going to appreciate this mug.
Yeah, thanks for buying a mug.
So I'm at the American Legion in Millinocket and just listen to all of the people in the background. And I'm here with Jessica, who just checked my name off the list. She got the thing that I had prepaid, my $7 for an all-I-can-eat spaghetti dinner. And she just said, I hope you're hungry. And I said, yes, I am. Jessica, you're originally from Millinocket.
Yes, I am.
Born and raised, lived here your whole life? So the first marathon that happened 2 years ago, I've listened to some podcasts, and I heard that it wasn't a very well-known thing.
It wasn't, no. Last year was really the first year that everybody kind of got involved, and we're hoping that this year is going to be a lot bigger. The mills closed down, and a lot of good people lost their jobs. A lot of people had to move out of the area to find jobs and to be closer to those. I'm fortunate that my fiance, he's a traveling plumber, so he gets to come home every night, and we love it here.
And what has this race meant not only for you, but for your friends, your neighbors, your relatives, people that live in the area?
The runners that are coming and giving back to our community is incredible. We live in a community that loves to give back, so we love all the people that are coming in. So that's fantastic.
And I've heard that this is basically the only race where the volunteers thank the runners for showing up.
Yes.
Do you plan on being out there in the cold weather cheering people on tomorrow?
Absolutely. My Girl Scouts are actually going to be down to the bandstand selling s'mores by the bonfire.
Excellent. I will not be eating any of the s'mores because then that'll basically reverse all of the running that I'll be doing tomorrow. But Jessica, thank you very much. And tell everybody, if I don't tell them thank you for rolling out the carpet for us, tell them thank you.
I will. Thank you guys for coming and supporting our community. You are awesome.
Stay tuned. There's more here on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. So I believe that was the last runner finishing the Crankle.
Your winner of the 2017 second annual HWRD 2K, Jeremy! Come back in March. Come back in April. Come back in June. Come back in August. Let everybody know you were here. And tell them, challenge them! Woo! Who knows? Maybe they too will get a slightly used Instant Pot.
The absolute final thing. Can the finalist, the person who came in final place, please come up here? Brian. Yes. My name is Brian. Nice. That's fantastic. Are you married to a woman named Andrea? No. I am. And she is an artist, and she painted this original artwork. She is the artist in residence of my residence. And this is yours.
So, Brian, you just got the Turtle Award for the second annual Crankle 2K. How does it feel?
Oh, it feels amazing.
Are you running either the full or the half?
I'm going to die on the full tomorrow because it's going to be so much fun.
You are not going to die, sir. Hopefully I will see you at the finish line after I have finished.
All right, nice. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Jeremy, you just won the second annual Crankle 2K, and I see that you're wearing like hiking boots and jeans for this 2K that turned out to be about 3/4 of a mile. So what was your strategy?
My strategy was to avoid tripping over my laces when they came untied at the turnaround.
And are you running either race tomorrow?
I'm doing the full marathon.
And will you be wearing your hiking boots?
I'm planning on wearing a little better running clothes now.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at weusecoins.com. That's weusecoins.com. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the Journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Fueled in the beginning by his unsettling thoughts and emotions, he learns how to find peace with everything he has woken up to. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
You're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com.
So the Crankle 2K just ended a few minutes ago, and I'm now in the back room of, what is this, the Blue Ox Saloon? Blue Ox Saloon, where the So This Is Fitness podcast is going to interview the race director of the Millinocket Marathon and Half, not interviewing the race directors of the Crankle 2K that they announced beforehand was official, unsanctioned, and possibly illegal. I'm standing near Mike, who he also is running his first full marathon tomorrow. However, he's not done anything longer than a 7, possibly 7.4 or 7.5 mile race. So what made you want to jump from a 7-ish mile race all the way to 26.2 miles?
It's on the bucket list. I turned 40 in November, and it was time to do it. It was time to commit.
So what are your goals for tomorrow?
Finish full marathon. That's goal number 1. And then if I could...
Good goal.
If I could subdivide it, it would be to finish uninjured.
Also a good goal.
To feel good about it. And I'm hesitant to say this, but maybe qualify for Boston.
That is an amazing goal.
That would be 4th on the list. That's the least important for tomorrow.
And what is a Boston qualifying time?
3:15.
3:15?
3:15.
Excellent. Good luck with that.
Thank you. We'll see.
Coming over to talk to the fit wife, not my fit wife, but my other brother Darryl's fit wife. So Megan is kind of a co-host of the So This Is Fitness podcast. You've been here in Millinocket how many years for the full or the half?
Last year was our first year. I did the half and he did the full. This year I had to drop down to the half because I have a respiratory issue.
And you guys are getting ready to interview the race director. And you were soliciting questions. What are some of the weirdest questions that you're going to be asking Gary Allen?
I'm actually in the dark about the questions, so I'm more of a spectator on this interview today. Look for it on Thursday, definitely.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Megan.
Nice to meet you.
I've had so many mill workers that poured their lives, their entire lives, into making paper, and when it went away, it just went away. You didn't get anything left over after that, and they've been just pouring their hearts out, saying, you don't understand, you people have given us hope. So, I don't know, you might get a medal at a lot of races, and you might get a PR, and you might get, but how many races are you ever going to run and give people hope? And, I think that you're here is a miracle. That you guys all bought into this and came here is absolutely stunning. And I love all of you for coming and be generous, and it's near the holidays. When I hear statistics like, 3/4 of the kindergartners and first graders in this town can't afford a school lunch. Think about that when you throw a few bucks on the counter, because these are probably their parents that are working, here. And so, thank you guys for coming, and let's do this now.
So, what just happened?
I just did a sweet live podcast with Gary Allen, the nutball that made the Millinocket Marathon.
And
we're here for it.
And you are?
I'm Coach Darrell McTague of the So This Is Fitness podcast. You can find me at Coach D Runs on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook.com/SoThisIsFitness, and www.SoThisIsFitness.com.
And what are we doing tomorrow?
We're going to run a freaking marathon and a half marathon and be awesome.
And what's your goal? Or goals? Do you have more than one?
Finish and have fun.
Excellent. See you at the finish line.
See you at the finish line.
So I'm here at the Moose Drop Inn with Lori, who is dressed up like a moose.
Absolutely. Got to see a moose when you come to town. What do you mean?
Yeah, I have yet to ever see a moose. I live in New Hampshire, and I'm told that there are a bunch of them, but I've never actually seen one. And I just bought a stuffed moose, apparently the last one you guys have. But this is the Moose Drop Inn.
It is.
What has the marathon meant for the business and the community?
Oh, it's absolutely amazing. It just generates so much happiness and love, just pure, it gets the town right on their feet. It's amazing what comes into this town and the generosity of everybody coming in. It's like we don't want it to end. We want it to go all the time. It's sad to see it end when the weekend ends, because it just makes the town alive again.
From what I'm hearing, some people are planning to stay for several days, but there was a couple sitting across the table from me from Atlanta, Georgia, said they're going to be here for a week.
Absolutely. You got to take full advantage when you come here. There's so many different places to see and to go to the mountain or to ride the woods roads, or the scenery, going for a ride and seeing if you can see a moose or a deer. You never know. You see bear, you see whatever wildlife is. But it's a calming environment. It's surreal. It's amazing. It's amazing.
How much business have you guys had so far?
Oh my God, this place has been crazy all day. Some started coming in last night, but just throughout the year, people that know about the marathon all year order online, pass the word on, spread it on, and it's like a snowball. It just keeps going and going and going, and they're still up and going, and it's unbelievable what can happen just from it's amazing.
And you said people have been ordering online all year. Where can people go to find out more about the Moose Drop Inn?
MooseDropIn.com.
In 1999, Darryl W. Perry began a search for traditional values, which led him down a path to the ideas of liberty. He tells the story in A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty. Of the book, Dr. Brian Sovereign says, sometimes it's funny, and sometimes I think it's crazy, but it's always authentic. Find A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty by Darryl W. Perry on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, ask for A Rebel's Journey wherever books are sold, or visit arebelsjourney.com.
It is the year 91,001 BCE. Witness humanity's origins in Hyperchronius, a classic role-playing game for Windows PCs, with a story like no other game before. A liberty-oriented experience that is not to be missed. Go to ZOG.Ninja to get your copy of Hyperchronius today. Use the code FPP to get $1 off. Hyperchronius, ZOG.Ninja, code FPP.
Hey, this is Scott from the ANCAP Barbershop, and you're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio with Darryl W. Perry.
So it's Saturday night, a little after 11 o'clock. I'm heading back to the hotel. I had originally planned to interview some of the runners today, but that did not happen. I'm very happy with my finishing time. My predicted finish time was 4:38. My goal time, meaning that the time that I actually wanted, was 4 hours and 30 minutes. I was somewhere in the 4 hour 33 minute range. I know that because I tried stopping my phone after I crossed the finish line, and I wasn't able to get it stopped for probably a good 15-20 seconds. And the phone stopped at exactly 4 hours 34 minutes. So the race ended. Luckily, I was able to park fairly close to the start-finish line, probably about 3-4 blocks away. The course. The course. It seemed to be like that Escher weird square staircase thing that keeps going up but going back to the same spot. The course somehow seemed to be uphill the entire way. I know that it began going downhill somewhere around the 7 or 8 mile mark, and that corresponds to also about the 20 and 21 mile mark. But yeah, it just seemed to be going up the entire way. I did a lot more running on the second lap, so the course was actually a 13.1 mile lap. And then to do the full marathon, you do a second lap. Did a lot more running on the second lap than I thought I would do, which is really, really good. Time could have been a little bit better if the course would have been flatter. But again, I'm very, very happy with the time, and stayed around by the start-finish line for a little bit, cheering on runners. Ate a couple of s'mores made by local Girl Scouts. The event was absolutely wonderful. The people of this town are just absolutely amazing. They were so grateful for everybody coming to town and helping give an economic boost to their community. And I heard numerous people say that this race has brought hope to this town. This has been Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. And remember, every Friday I answer your questions. Send those over, ama.fppradio.com.
The podcasts of FPP Radio are licensed under Copy Heart. We believe that copying is a form of flattery and do not abide by the copyright laws. Those laws serve to restrict the flow of ideas which no one can really own. Copying is an act of love. Love is not subject to law. If you enjoy the show, consider joining the Fans program and get perks like ad-free versions of Peace, Love, Liberty Radio and FPP Radio News, and also get a copy of the monthly newspaper FPP News. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com.